welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren from Lauren and the Books. I've actually got a bit of an audience at the moment because in order to get my niece to leave happily, she has been allowed to press the button. Goodbye. See you soon. So hard, isn't it? Isn't it? It's because it's just so much fun here, guys, all the time. Fun, fun, fun. We'll just wait for that to wrap up. See you soon. Love you. Welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren from Lauren and the Books. And today's video is a video whereby it's the first line battle. I've been looking forward to filming this all day. This is my third video I filmed today. I've been out walking, I've filmed my TBR. She's still out there crying. But the video I'm filming now is the video, oh God, she's really knocked everything over. It's the video where I pick books off my shelves based on what colour the spines are, and I read out the first line and I battle the first lines against each other until at the end of this selection of books I will have one book which will get added to my next month's TBR. So the book that wins today will get added to my TBR for July. You don't want to go. It's because it's just so funny. We've played Disney Colour Brain. She's been reading books. She's been bouncing on the sofa. It's all funny, isn't it? So yeah, so I'm going to start with the red book. And then I'll work my way through. So from red to orange to yellow to green to blue to purple to pink to peachy colour to white to grey to black. And I used to literally pick them off the shelves, but when this sofa's here it means you see a lot of my bum. So I've just literally picked them all off of the shelves and I'm going to read them to you. Here we go. So we're going to start with the red book. The red book, and this is the sixth book, the sixth red book we've got on the shelves. And the only stipulations are I can't have read it before and it can't be the second in a series. So this is Camilla Shamsie's Best of Friends, and a lot of, actually, because I've picked all the books off already, I'm quite excited about a lot of them because a lot of them are new to me books. It just so happened that when I've put them on the shelves they've ended up being that they've come off here. So a lot of them are new to me books, which is exciting. Right, the first line is set in Karachi in 1988 in the summer. And the first line, it's a bit boring. It simply says, first day back at school. That's not going to win any awards, is it? She's gone. She didn't want to go, did she?
Yeah, I think she did.
It's just so fun here, isn't it?
Yeah. We're just fun guys.
We're just fun guys. Right, okay, so
mushrooms.
the first one is yeah, that's not going to win. So we move on to the orange book. This is The Midwife by Tricia Cresswell, and this was out on the 17th of February last year. I mean, you'll all know that I'm a big fan of Call the Midwife, so let's see if this stays in line with that excitement. Chapter 1, A Beginning. The woman lay curled in the heather, her skin blue-white against the frost. I mean, that's not my fave, but it's definitely better than the first day back at school. So this one will win for the time being. Then we move on to the yellow book, which is The Book of Goose by Yi Young Lee. This came out in September last year as well. It's got a bit of a sad front cover because that goose doesn't look like she's having a very good time. The first line of this is, you cannot cut an apple with an apple. Interesting. Is it better than you cannot cut an apple with an apple, or the woman lay curled in the heather, her skin blue-white against the frost? I think it's you cannot cut an apple with an apple. So we'll go for that, because I am like, no, you can't cut an apple with an apple. I'm interested in that. Okay, that was the yellow book. Then we've got the green book, which was How Beautiful We Were by Mbolo Mbew. Let's have a look and see what this says. We should have known the end was near. No, I still think you cannot cut an apple with an apple is the winner. So we'll move that on. Then blue book, we've got The Second Sight of Zachary Cloudesly by Sean Lusk. Let's see what Sean Lusk has to offer us, or Zachary Cloudesly. Okay, that's a note about. So we'll go part 1, chapter 1. March 1754, London, life and death. Leadenhall stinks this morning of soot and shit and inexplicably of nutmeg. That is a good first line, isn't it? You cannot cut an apple with an apple, or Leadenhall stinks this morning of soot and shit and inexplicably of nutmeg. I'm interested. Why is it smelling of soot and shit? Okay, sure. Somewhere in London in 1754 probably does smell of soot and shit, but why is it smelling of nutmeg? So yeah, This has now championed. So far, the second site of Zachary Cloudesly is currently winning. Then we've got the purple book, The Importance of Being Interested, Adventures in Scientific Curiosity by Robin Ince. Let's find it. We don't want the foreword. Right, okay. Oh, it's quite long because there's a quote at the beginning that doesn't have a full stop in it. Introduction, the stars your destiny. She's read that wrong. The stars your destination. In studying how the world works, we are studying how God works and thereby learning what God is. In that spirit, we can interpret the search for knowledge as a form of worship and our discoveries as revelation. By Frank Wilczek. The moment I put my hand in my school blazer pocket and found it full of frog entrails, I already knew science was not for me. That's quite good. The moment I put my hand in my school blazer pocket and found it full of frog entrails, I already knew science was not for me. That's good because, like I say, often first lines in non-fiction books, if you've been watching these for a while, you'll know that the first lines in non-fiction books are hard to get to pull me in. Leadenhall stinks this morning of soot and shit and inexplicably of nutmeg. I think it might be the soot and shit and nutmeg. I really want to know why it smells of nutmeg. The moment I put my hand in my school blazer pocket and found it full of frog entrails, I already knew science was not for me. That is good though. No, I think I'm going to go for soot and shit and nutmeg. Okay, next up, pink book, is The Distance Between Us by Maggie O'Farrell. Maggie O'Farrell loved her book, loved The Marriage Portrait, which I read this year. Part 1. He wakes to find himself splayed like a starfish across the bed, his mind running at full tilt. He wakes to find himself splayed like a starfish across the bed, his mind running at full tilt. Yeah, I don't think that's as good as shit and soot and nutmeg. Next up, we've got, this is brand new. This ain't even out yet. This is out in August 2023. It's the new Emma Donoghue. This is Learned by Heart. This is quite the, it's a real, look at the proof. So it's got a little peephole through here and then you take this bit. This is going to be hard to read when it gets to it because look at all of these like extra bits. But let's have a look. Emma Donoghue. I have a bit of a hit and miss with Emma Donoghue. Sometimes I absolutely love the stuff. Like I loved The Pull of the Stars. I loved Room. Sometimes I've had a hard time getting into it. But let's have a look what this one, Learned by Heart, has to offer. Rain to Lister, 1815. Looks as though it's a letter. My dear Lister, last night I went to the manor again. Now you see, that has got me interested because Rebecca, which is one of my favourite books ever by Daphne du Maurier, the first line in that is, last night I dreamt I went to Manderley. So that's very similar. My dear Lister, last night I went to the manor again. Last night I went to the manor again. I mean, that does, it really echoes of Rebecca. Or do I want to go for shit and soot and nutmeg? Shit and soot and nutmeg is still really doing it for me. I think I'm sticking with shit and soot and nutmeg, but I've got to say that has been a close call. We're down to 3 now, guys. So we've got The End We Start From, Megan Hunter. Is this short stories? No, I don't think it is, or it might be. I don't think it is. It looks like it's in chapters. So 1. I am hours from giving birth, from the event I thought would never happen to me, and R has gone up a mountain. I am hours from giving birth, from the event I thought would never happen to me, and R has gone up a mountain. That is good. Or shit and soot and nutmeg. I think shit and soot and nutmeg. I wonder if shit and soot and nutmeg has won, because I've been tempted by 2, but it's still prevailed. Right, grey ones, you'll be pleased to hear. So at the beginning of this year, when I was sorting through my books, I had 5, one moment. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 Persephone books on my shelves that I've been gradually collecting and not really doing much with, just looking at them on my shelf thinking how lovely they are. Mainly I buy them in charity shops, but I have had a few bought for me as gifts. And I said to myself, look, if you haven't read any of those Persephone books by the end of the year, you've got to get rid of all of them. Well, I've read Still Missing, so I don't have to get rid of all of them. But this is the grey one for this month. So let's have a look and see what the first line is. We won't read the publisher's note. We'll go straight in for the good stuff. It starts with a list of characters. We won't read that. This is, oh, by the way, this is Lettice Delmer by Susan Miles. Oh, it looks as though it's all written in verse. So it might be that we get a lot. Oh, no, we don't. I was thinking there might be a lot of this until we get to a full stop. Lettice Delmer. Blatant clangs the bell. Crude as the diseases that jail the patients in the special hospital. That is a good one. Blatant clangs the bell. Crude as the diseases that jail the patients in the special hospital. I still think certain shit and nutmeg. She can't stop saying certain shit and nutmeg. And then the last one is one that David bought me. It's one of these books that they sort of are having a bit of a moment. Maybe not so much now, but a couple of years ago they were. And this is Renegade Women in Film and TV by Elizabeth Weitzman, and the illustrations are done by Austin Clare Clements. And it has a portrait of a woman who is a renegade in film and TV, and then some stuff about that woman. And yeah, David bought it for me, not for last Christmas, I think maybe the Christmas before, so it's been on my shelves a while. But we'll start with the introduction. Here's the good news. There have been so many game-changing women in film and television that it would take volumes to cover them all. Here's the good news. There have been so many game-changing women in film and television that it would take volumes to cover them all. Do you know what, guys? The second sight of Zachary Cloudesly by Sean Lusk has won. And as a treat, let me read the first 3 sentences to you, and this will be going on my TBR for July. Chapter 1, March 1754, London, Life and Death. Leadenhall stinks this morning of soot and shit, and inexplicably of nutmeg. Dr. Pike has been in the bedchamber all night with Alice, ejecting Abel from the room 4 times already, wafting his meaty hand in the air, along with words of greasy reassurance. It was Alice's aunt who insisted they engage him, this pompous midwifeman to ladies of distinction, but he disgusted Abel from the first, there being something of the ox about the fellow, large and slow and clumsy, so that he hardly seems the man for woman's parts. Well, that is interesting, very interesting indeed. So, there we go. This is the winner, the prevailer of all first lines from this first line battle. This will go on my TBR for July for next month. Let me know what first line you would have picked, and let me know if you think I've picked the right thing. And I'll see you all again soon for another booktube video. Goodbye!